Hello and welcome to my channel, Lifestyle and Fashion Tea. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Subscribe to the channel. Listen to the videos. I will do a live probably about 8, but I just wanted to get this out. I just wanted to get this one out. Cassie Ventura takes stand in Sean Diddy Combs' ex-trafficking trial. Describes freak-offs in graphic detail. Let me tell y'all, reading through this, it seriously makes me sick. It makes me want to throw up. I am not kidding y'all. I don't know how the girl did it. I don't know how either one of them did it. I don't. But let's go. Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, who performs under the name Cassie, took the stand today. In the ex-trafficking and racketeering trial, she repeatedly cried on the stand as she recounted in graphic detail the freak-offs she participated in. During their opening statement, the defense noted that Ventura and Combs have not seen each other in more than 6 years. But baby, that changed today. Combs looked at her when she walked in and began to testify. Honey, Cassie Ventura was on that stand, and I'm seeing that she's supposed to be back tomorrow. Ventura described for the jury their more than 10-year relationship as on and off with frequent physical abuse. She cried several times. Ventura told the jury when things got violent with Combs, he would bash her head and knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head. Oh my gosh. Ventura said she met Combs when she was 19. He signed her to his label. There was a 17-year age gap, she noted. She testified the two first kissed when she was 21. She said that left her confused and crying, and she ran off. She called herself naive. Ventura testified she was 22 when Combs first proposed the idea of a so-called freak-off to her, a actual encounter he called voyeurism, watching her with another man. Ventura testified she was confused, nervous, but I also loved him very much and wanted to make him happy. She testified that while she wasn't interested in participating in them after the first one, she felt like she had no choice because he had black male material. She says that freak-offs became her job. Eventually, setting up freak-offs became a job for her, Ventura testified. She told the jury they would last for days, and the longest one took 4 days. How in the world do you go 4? Okay, let me keep going because this is giving me a headache. Ventura testified Combs would supply rugs and they would drink alcohol. Combs would direct everything between her and the escorts, including how often to apply baby oil, sometimes using up to 10 large bottles, Ventura testified. Ventura was asked if she enjoyed any of it. She started crying and said it was the one-on-one time with Combs she enjoyed because otherwise there were so many people around him all the time. Combs chose Pop Pop as a nickname. Emails between Ventura and Combs revealed her nickname for him was Pop Pop. Ventura explained on the stand that early on, when choosing nicknames for each other, she didn't have a particular one in mind. Combs then asked her what she called her grandfather. And how disgusting is that? Why do you want to know what the hell she called her grandfather? Well, Cassie stated she called him Pop Pop, and that became his nickname. So you didn't just want to be like, you know, how people call their mates daddy. You wanted to be the granddaddy. You wanted to be Pop Pop. I thought it was weird, Ventura testified. Yes, that was very weird. There was family in court. Ventura's husband was in the courtroom, as was Combs' mother and children. Prior to testimony, I did see her lawyer coming in the courtroom, and she was telling all the reporters that Cassie was ready to testify. Ventura, who is now 38 years old and visibly pregnant, as she testified, described a tortured, decade-long off and on relationship that began shortly after Combs signed her to a 10-album deal with his Bad Boy Records label when she was 19 years old. A 10-album deal. He knew what he was doing from the jump. During her testimony, Ventura accused him of physically and emotionally abusing her for years and exerting control over virtually every aspect of her life. She said that she recorded hundreds of songs that were never released and busied herself at his command in the recording studio. But she only released a single mixtape in 2013. Most of her time, she said, was dominated by Combs' freak-offs. Drug-fueled, multi-day marathons of sex with prostitutes he orchestrated and directed. The FOs became a job where there was no space to do anything else but to recover and try to feel normal again. This makes me want to cry, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. Johnson described the freak-offs, or FOs, and said that Combs called himself the king. She also detailed several alleged instances of violence, including an alleged ape of Ventura and a 2009 episode in which Combs allegedly threw Ventura to the floor of an SUV and stomped repeatedly on her face, then hid her in a hotel for days to allow time for her injuries to heal while she was monitored by his employees. She also accused Combs of blackmailing Ventura with graphic videos of her in many sexual situations with dozens and dozens of prostitutes. Cassie Ventura tried to tell Sean Combs she was not a fan of the freak-offs. Her longtime boyfriend berated her, according to her testimony. Ventura said that she would backpedal at that point for fear of disappointing Combs. Jurors were shown a series of 2010 emails between the couple, starting off raunchy and playful before turning into an argument about whether Ventura would want to participate in future freak-offs. Ventura said freak-offs were very choreographed experiences conducted by Sean Combs. They happened in hotel rooms in New York City, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Miami, Turks and Caicos, and Ibiza. In Ibiza, Spain? Lord. Okay, let me keep going. These hotel reservations were made under aliases. The aliases were Jackie Starr for Ventura and Frank Black or Frank White for Combs. It's worth noting Frank White is the nickname Combs' former artist, the late notorious B.I.G. first adopted. No, he was thinking he was Frank from what is it? American Gangster. Cause his daddy was friends with him. He wanted to choose Frank. He think he a gangster. So earlier, the government had asked Ventura for more details about the freak-offs. Who made the decisions regarding lube, the colors used during the freak-offs, whether candles were laid out, who chose the candles, to what temperature the room was set. In each instance, Ventura said it was Combs. Linens would also be laid out to to protect the furniture, Ventura said. Combs would direct escorts to urinate on Ventura and would make her participate in these FOs while on her period. Miss Ventura, did you want to be urinated on? The government asked. No, Ventura responded. It was not discussed beforehand, she said, but it happened because it was a turn on for Mr. Combs. Attorney Emily Johnson asked Ventura for details on male escorts were solicited on how male escorts were solicited and picked to participate in freak-offs. Ventura said she would contact dancing or stripping services, then show Sean Combs images of potential male escorts for his approval. Male escorts at freak-offs were typically paid $1,500 and $5,000 or $6,000 at the end of the session. Cassie Ventura testified. She said Sean Combs usually handed her the cash, which she gave to the escorts. I don't know what kind of love this is because I ain't never been in love like that. But my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Cassie Ventura was being asked about individual escorts, which names she knew them by, how they were hired, where they were hired, and where they traveled to. One person, whose real name she didn't know, she called the Punisher. Images of the escorts are simultaneously being shown to the jury. All of the photos so far show Black or Latino men. Can you imagine being in that courthouse? Oh my gosh, I don't even think the kids, his children should be in there. This was strong teenagers. Those girls, strong. I couldn't do it. I could not do that and listen to that about my father. Cassie did admit to using Uggs during every freak-off, she testified, because she needed mental distance as she engaged in a host of unwanted sexual activities and strangers. It was dissociative and numbing, she said. I couldn't imagine doing any of that without having some sort of buffer. She told the jury that Sean Combs and his staff provided her with rugs of all sorts for these emotionless ordeals. Marijuana, ketamine, GHB, sometimes mushrooms, she said. Whatever was the rug of choice at that point. Cassie Ventura, who was visibly emotional on the stand earlier in the day, is now speaking in a flat, low voice with no real variance. She's not talking about how she felt or recalling specific events, and the government hasn't asked her to during this portion of her testimony. Ventura has mostly been asked logistical details about the FOs, such as what services and people she reached out to, what rugs were used, and how those rugs were dispensed. The government has also asked her to walk through various email and text exchanges planning the events. Cassie Ventura said she would often get sick and vomit after taking rugs, especially MDMA and ecstasy. If she got sick in the middle of a freak-off, she said, Sean Combs would push her to continue having sex. Oh my gosh. Cassie Ventura described for the jury the order in which Sean Combs expected things to happen during a freak-off. The parties kicked off with a mandatory discussion of each other's nude bodies, she testified. This led to oral sex, the use of baby oil, and more explicit events. Ventura said it was awkward and pretty humiliating to talk to Combs about an escort's penis, but he expected it. What the? In the beginning, Cassie Ventura testified Sean Combs' freak-off parties were recorded on video cameras, then on cell phones and other personal electronic devices, both his and hers. Ventura recalled telling Combs she didn't want to be recorded. She felt insane about it at first, she testified. He replied that the recordings brought him enjoyment after the parties ended, she said. Ventura said she would watch the videos with Combs, usually while they were having intercourse. Oh, God, this is sick. She said she also saw the videos as she was trying to delete them from her phone. Eventually, they circled back to the tape and the hotel meeting that took place a couple days before she was supposed to attend a premiere for a film, A Perfect Match. But she starred in. Prosecutors presented a text exchange between Ventura and Sean Combs in which she expressed a fear that a freak-off would mess her up before the event. But she testified she worried that Combs would just make it miserable for me if she didn't comply. So she went to the freak-off and still made the premiere. She said she wanted to enjoy something she had worked really hard on. Cassie Ventura was also asked why she stayed on the floor when Sean Combs kicked her at the elevator bank during the 2016 hotel incident. What? Here it is. She stayed on the ground, she said, because it felt like the safest place to be. What was she going to do? Get up and fight? Cassie Ventura was barefoot when she fled Sean Combs' 2016 freak-off at the Los Angeles hotel room, she testified. She said she was putting her shoes on by the elevator when Combs appeared wearing nothing but a towel, threw her to the ground, kicked her, and punched her. She had been trying to get through the freak-off in decent shape for her upcoming film premiere, she said. The next thing I knew, I was just thrown to the ground, Ventura said, as security footage of the incident played in court. After he hit me and I saw the result of it, I knew I had to get out, Ventura told the jury at another point. The prosecutor's questioning of Cassie Ventura today at times felt slow and repetitive. That may have been so she could end her testimony for the day by recalling the 2016 hotel beating at Sean Combs' hands. Those images will be the last ones jurors see before they head home for the evening. And let me say something about this picture. Her hair was cut like this. I heard a young jock say one time that they were at this party and a bartender or somebody there had their hair cut like that. And Sean told Cassie to go get her hair cut like that. Not if she liked it, if she wanted it. It was said, no, you are going to get your hair cut like that. And that's how she got it. This is sad. If we look at this photo right here very closely, you can see that her eye is blackened. There was another photo that I have been trying to find where she has on glasses and her whole face is messed up. If I find it, I will put it up. But I've been looking for it for a while and I cannot find it. But I'm going to continue looking. And I may go live or I may just post. But this is so upsetting to me. This is so upsetting to me. All this time, like, we look into their lives and we think they're living fabulously. And she's in hell. I don't know. I would probably be dead or in jail. Or Diddy would have been dead or in jail. Because this couldn't go on. It just couldn't. Guys, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know any of your feelings, thoughts on this case so far. As I said, I think she will be testifying again tomorrow. And there was something else that I wanted to discuss, but this whole thing is just sickening. It's sickening. Sickening to me. I pray that you will get through this one day, Cassie, and be able to just live your life, the rest of your life, happy and in peace. Thank you all for watching.